When I proposed to Emily, I truly believed I had found the woman who would stand by me through thick and thin. We had been together for almost 3 years, and though she wasn't perfect, I thought we shared something real. My parents adored her, my sister often said I had hit the jackpot, and even my friends told me I was lucky. Life wasn't always easy. I worked long hours as an engineer, sometimes pulling overtime just to make sure we stayed ahead on bills. Emily didn't contribute much financially. She had a part-time job at a boutique, which barely covered her shopping habits, but I convinced myself it was temporary. I wanted her to be happy, and I wanted us to build a life together. The biggest goal I had was paying off the mortgage on the small house we had just bought. It wasn't huge, but it was ours. I poured my savings into the down payment, and I was determined to pay off the rest quickly so we could start our future debt-free. Then one night, as Emily was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Normally, I never touched her phone. I trusted her completely. But this time, the preview of a text caught my eye. It was from her mom. I wasn't snooping, but my eyes read the notification before I could look away. "Mom, are you sure you're making the right choice, sweetheart?" Emily's reply popped up just seconds later. "Emily, don't worry. Once he pays off the mortgage, I'm gone." I froze. My chest tightened as if someone had dropped a boulder onto me. My fiancée, the woman I thought I would marry, was planning to leave me the moment I finished paying for the house. I sat there in silence, pretending nothing had happened when she came out of the shower. She kissed my cheek, smiled, and asked what movie I wanted to watch. I smiled back, but inside I was broken. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, her words echoing in my mind, "Once he pays off the mortgage, I'm gone." I could have confronted her right then. I could have shown her I knew the truth. But something inside me told me not to. If she was going to betray me, I wanted her lies exposed in the worst way possible, so no one could ever accuse me of overreacting or misunderstanding. So I kept quiet. And I built a trap. Over the next 2 months, I acted as if nothing was wrong. I smiled, cooked her favorite meals, and even talked about wedding plans. Meanwhile, I worked extra shifts and saved every penny. Unknown to her, I was funneling money into a separate account in my father's name. The house? It was already almost paid off. But instead of celebrating, I prepared documents that quietly shifted ownership, not just to me, but to a family trust that Emily had no claim to. My father, a retired lawyer, guided me through every detail. He told me, "Son, if she's really what you think she is, this will protect you." Finally, the day came. I made the last mortgage payment. Emily seemed thrilled, hugging me tightly and whispering how proud she was of me. But her eyes, they didn't sparkle with love. They glimmered with calculation. That same night, while she was asleep, I scrolled through her phone again. And there it was, a new message to her mom. "Emily, it's done. The house is fully his now. Give me a month and I'll move back in with you. I'll figure out how to break it to him without too much drama." I clenched my fists but stayed silent. The trap was set. A week later, Emily staged her little exit. She picked a fight over something trivial, me forgetting to pick up her favorite coffee creamer, and escalated it into a screaming match. "You never listen to me. You only care about work," she shouted, tears streaming down her face. I stood there calmly, almost amused, because I knew where this was going. That evening, she stormed out and went crying straight to my parents. I knew she would. She thought she had them wrapped around her finger. After all, my mother once called her the daughter she never had. When I arrived at my parents' house later, Emily was sitting at the dining table, sobbing into her hands. My mom rubbed her back, looking furious with me. My dad sat silently, watching. "Son," my mom snapped, "how could you treat Emily like this? She says you've been neglecting her, ignoring her needs, and being controlling about money." Emily sniffled, looking at me with wide, pitiful eyes. "I just don't know if I can do this anymore," she whispered. I nodded slowly, reached into my bag, and pulled out a folder. Before anyone makes judgments, I think you all need to see this. I slid the printed screenshots of her text messages across the table. The color drained from Emily's face instantly. My mother picked up the papers, reading Emily's words aloud in disbelief. "Don't worry. Once he pays off the mortgage, I'm gone." The room went silent. My mom's hand trembled. She looked at Emily, betrayal etched across her face. You used him?" Emily stammered. "And no, it's not like that. Those texts were taken out of context." That's when my father stood up, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. "Enough." Everyone looked at him. My father wasn't a man of many words, but when he spoke, people listened. He turned to Emily. "You thought you could manipulate my son? You thought you could steal years of his life, his hard work, and his trust. But what you didn't know is that this family protects its own. That house you were waiting for? You'll never see a dime of it. It belongs to our family trust. You're finished here." Emily's mouth opened, but no sound came out. My mom set down the papers, her eyes blazing now. "Get out of this house. Get out of our lives." Emily's crocodile tears returned full force. "Please, I love him. I didn't mean it. I was just stressed, I didn't know what I was saying." I looked at her one last time. The woman I once loved now looked like a stranger. "You didn't love me, Emily. You loved what I could give you. But that ends tonight." I walked away, my parents by my side. Emily screamed after me, begging, threatening, then sobbing. But it was too late. In the days that followed, she tried calling me dozens of times. She even showed up at my job once, crying in the parking lot, but security escorted her away. Eventually, the calls stopped. I won't lie, it hurt. It hurt to realize the woman I wanted to marry only wanted my wallet. But in a strange way, I felt free. I didn't just dodge a bullet, I dodged a missile. My father told me something that stuck with me. Sometimes betrayal is the greatest gift. It shows you the truth before you waste your whole life on a lie. And he was right. Because now, that house wasn't a trap, it was a fortress. Mine alone. And my future? Wide open, waiting for someone who would love me for me.